Hello, everybody, and welcome to Off the Wall Nerds for our second episode of our podcast tonight. And happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. So we have a fun show lined up for you guys tonight. We got Star Trek: Strange New Worlds, The Boys, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and the Orville, plus a couple other fun topics. And with me, as always, is Justin, our producer and co-host. Justin, how you doing today on this Father's Day?
Relaxing day compared to all the hecticness of yesterday and trying to get things figured out. It's been a good Father Days all in all. I want to give a second to give a shout out to Joe Diaz who saved our bacon
Yes, he did.
this week.
our junior,
With
our
a
junior
brilliant,
executive producer.
yes. I did not realize that our account that I used to actually pay for hosting did not have the funds in it to actually renew the hosting. So he gladly donated so we could actually show go on because even though this says free with restrictions.
Exactly. So tonight, and we do this is a show by dads, so of course we're having ourselves a Father's Day, so I hope everyone else is out there also. So we're gonna start tonight off. We're gonna talk about Star Trek: Strange New Worlds. Now, this was an episode that was actually not too terrible. It was a fun Star Trek episode, um, but for the hardcore Trek fans, they brought
Ain't
back
gonna cry.
yes, they brought back somebody that we didn't want back. We thought
Let the hurt flow.
yes. So
Let the hurt flow.
they gave us a great episode and ruined it with the ending. For those who don't know, Cybok is back, which is Spock's brother. So, it was a great pirate episode. Pirates take over the Enterprise. The Captain Pike does reverse psychology, gets the pirates to turn on themselves. They get the ship back, and then yeah, it turns out they wanted to free Cybok. So we got a doozy of one. So Justin, what do you think of this week's episode of Strange New Worlds?
I thought it was great, and it was a good episode. And then at the end, they threw the Starbucks card in. I'm just like, I called this shit before Strange New Worlds even premiered. I said, watch, they're going to bring Steinbach in to replace Michael Burnham. It's only natural. They'll find a way to retcon it somehow to where the reason why he doesn't remember it in Star Trek 5 or they're just going to say, fuck that movie because it sucks anyways. But anyhow, um, yeah, it was, I remember I told Greg, I kind of spoiled it a little bit. And I was just like, just wait, just wait. And of course, Carlos, he automatically started screaming.
Right? Oh man, and see, again, a great episode which is just marred by, and see, chronologically speaking in the Star Trek timeline, this is way before Star Trek 5 takes place. So this is just
I
yeah,
just don't. Well, I mean, it makes sense that he's locked up in the mental institution, but still, it's
there you go,
just
David.
why? I just don't know why. I have no idea why. I don't understand the reasoning behind it. Like, I don't understand the reasoning behind them bringing in Kirk uh, so soon. I just, you know, odd. But I guess they're planning on this being a long haul series, so
Yeah,
we'll
well,
see what is next.
yeah, definitely gonna see how this goes. So, and for those, okay, and I know Star Trek is not everybody's cup of tea, but if you're gonna actually watch Star Trek, I do recommend Strange New Worlds because it is technically first in the timeline next to another series called Enterprise. But start with Strange New Worlds. This episode was
Most
pretty.
definitely.
This episode was really fun. Again, they were pirates, taking over the ship, and it was again, if you've seen pirate movies like Pirates of the Caribbean, um, Black Sails, I forget Taika Waititi's one on HBO Max. Those are all really great ones. So this is kind of reminded you of that one.
The
Um,
only thing that was missing was the she shanty.
yes, and
They
honestly,
should have done at least one.
they would honestly if they had let him, I think Anson Mount would have been totally down for a space shanty, if you will. Um,
Uh, yeah.
but this is this again. This was a great episode. Spock deals with his humanity, and knows that, and T'Pring, his fiance slash wife, is wanting to help him explore his humanity side. So when you're half alien, half human, you definitely have some stuff to work out. Um, but this is again overall fun episode. The head pirate Angel, I believe, was her name.
Mm-hmm.
Um, totally threw Spock for a loop. Now in Star Trek, Vulcans are emotionless. They forego emotion, and she got him to be very emotional in his decision making, basically tricking him like, "Hey, we need you to save these colonists," and there were never any colonists. So that was pretty interesting to get her see her do that, manipulate him. Um, as for Pike and them, the highlight of this is definitely Pike. He gets captured, and again, the whole reverse psychology. He gets the pirate crew to mutiny against themselves, and in turn gains control of their ship to get his ship back. If that's not Captain Jack
Partial
Sparrow-ish,
control.
I,
Partial control.
partial control. They get to the bridge to get control, but if that's not Captain Jack Sparrow, I don't know what is. Um, but the episode was pretty good. Again, for us Star Trek fans, they bring back Cybok. This one's gonna take us off for a little bit, but we'll see how they handle it. I'm curious to see if they touch on Cybok next week, which I think they might, because while this isn't serialized storytelling, it's episodic. We'll see.
Well, it's episodic in nature, but
Yes,
they have a slight little background story to it, which I like. And I wish they would repeat that in the other shows because I don't necessarily think that the season long story arc works anymore with the short form storytelling that they have going now. So I think this is actually a what they got going here with Strange New Worlds perfect format. One, it keeps us guessing. We have no fucking idea what the hell's happening the following week. We can't make predictions based on the preview. It's absolutely fantastic.
and so um, episodic has always been better for Star Trek versus serialized. Now, back in when the '90s when they did with DS9, they did make it work very well. Enterprise did have
Mhm.
a solid season of it, but Star Trek has always been episodic. So, depending on what kind of show you go with, like Star Wars, Mandalorian, that works very well as serialized. But Star Trek has always been more episodic, as a better format. Um,
Right. Well, even DS9 didn't start off, story wise. It did later on. It kind of had a little bit of a background story going on, but
right.
really did kick on later on in the front. Wanted to get leaked, but what they did with this, I think it's a good format. I really hope it's going forward.
Yeah, watch and hopefully you're cutting out there, Justin. Make sure your mic is close.
Mm.
um, and good segue since we touched on Star Trek a little bit. Segue into mentioning Star Wars, Kenobi, Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi Part
Oh.
5, the penultimate episode. Yeah, Justin's ready for this one. The penultimate episode of the series, um, gave us, I want to say, one of the best Star Wars episodes of any series we're gonna see. They brought it hardcore for this episode because Reva, third sister, is completely in the episode. She's completely fooled. Like she does not know that Vader's onto her. Obi-Wan does get her to turn. He gets her to help him out because he realizes because that okay, I keep saying because sorry. She knows that Anakin is the Vader. And that is not information, as he stated, known everywhere. Only what 4 people know who Vader really is. And the reason she knows is because she was a youngling the night of Order
Mm-hmm.
66 at the Jedi Temple. She survived the attack.
And the episode is going to be a kicker whenever they have to put a disclaimer in as soon as it opens for a Disney
Yes.
show.
Yep. They did have that disclaimer about the images with children. So, Third Sister was there during the night of Order 66. Obi-Wan uses that against, not necessarily against her, but uses it to get her to help him out. And it buys time for them to get out. Now, we do lose somebody here. Tala, who was a great character for this series, does end up giving her life so that the rest can get onto the transport and get out of there.
Yes.
and she uses a familiar device of the grenade, which was used by Leia in Star Wars Episode 6. Um, I wasn't expecting so much heart per se in this series being limited, but Tala did impact the show very well, and her sacrifice does mean a lot. So it really helped out them to get away, or I'm sorry, as we found out, try to get away because holy shit, Vader. They okay. There was a meme I posted to our Facebook page that Disney has made some mistakes with Star Wars. One of them is not Vader. Vader, they've made Vader so much more menacing than they did with the original trilogy. In Rogue One, we get Vader unleashed, slashing down rebels with not a care in the world. This episode, we see him flat out use the Force, snag a transport mid flight, throw it to the ground, and start ripping it apart. And Justin, I want to know your thoughts on this one because you're.
Spoiler alert.
um,
Spoiler alert. But yeah, holy shit, that scene was. I had to watch it again because I mean that was badass. I don't think they've ever done anything like that in Star Wars before.
yeah. Um,
Honestly, I really don't. But I mean that just shows how powerful Vader is, and how evil he is. He don't give a fuck. He'll do what he wants. Then again, he's easily tricked because he, yeah, still trying to prove himself.
and
That's why
that's
they had that flashback scene.
yes, they have. Okay, I don't want to say this. Hayden Christensen has not been redeemed. He's finally been recognized. I loved Hayden Christensen as a young Anakin. Now, people dissed him because of the way he acted. He acted what he was given, much like Mark Hamill acted Luke in the new Star Wars trilogy. People didn't like it, but you're not, it's that's what they were given. But to see Hayden Christensen, not de-aged, mind you, he still looks good. um, we get a massive, amazing flashback to him training with Obi-Wan as a premonition.
Bad one.
Yeah, as a Padawan,
Mm.
as that Anakin is so overconfident that he's like he bests Obi-Wan in a saber duel, kicks his saber out, and he's like, I've won, and Obi-Wan is like, that's your undoing. And he beats Anakin. Using that against him, that's how he was able to trick Vader, and when Vader tore apart the ship, the other one gets away. So it was very much a great callback to that. Obi-Wan still knows how to beat Vader. And then we get Vader just absolutely, oh man, toying. I'm going to say, yeah, he was just absolutely toying with Third Sister. He didn't. He didn't even light up his lightsaber until he finally just stopped using the Force on her. Like, okay, don't need to use the Force on you anymore. Let's just go ahead and use the lightsaber. And just,
And he took hers.
yeah, she had no chance. When you can fight somebody with a lightsaber and just use the Force to deflect, you know you're the shit. And Vader, holy crap, man! I the 5 minutes of Vader we get with him tearing apart the ship and then besting Reva is completely crazy. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's right.
I honestly don't think she's dead.
No,
I think
she's
we
not.
might.
And my friend Jacob just pointed out he technically didn't use his saber. He took hers and divided it in two because it could split. So he took her
Right.
saber and used it against her.
That's what I said. Her saber. Yeah, he didn't even use his saber. Yeah.
So he didn't even use his. By the time he used the lightsaber, he just took half of hers and was like, "All right." So, and I love that, and we knew this before we got a chance to talk about it, but we knew the Grand Inquisitor was still alive.
Oh
You
yeah,
could,
absolutely.
but for him to come in and taunt her like that, was amazing. Like they're handling this very very well, and I want to know. So Justin, what was your? I'll say my favorite part is Vader just tearing apart the ship. I'm pretty sure it's probably
Oh
yours.
yeah.
What was your great part of this
Vader
episode?
ripping, Vader ripping apart the ship like it wasn't nothing. We've never seen that coming. So yeah, that's really cool to see them go that far. And not pull all the stops out for this. They give zero fuck.
Yeah, it was
They get. I mean, they went even had the kids in there again. I mean, we didn't think they would go that far, especially with this.
right.
uh, but yeah, I think Yeah, I'm almost wondering if we won't. I know they're saying Obi-Wan's supposed to be a one and done, but I bet you we're gonna get a season.
So, okay, touching on that one again, like, well, this is one of my favorite Vader moments. So we have touched on this last week and when we were on the Super Geeks that there have been rumors, and there's I guess you could say confirmed rumors because they went from sites like Giant Freaking Robot, which is never right, to Deadline and Yahoo reporting that there's mumblings that they want to do now a season 2 of Kenobi because the viewership shot through the roof and it has been through the roof for this series, which was to be
Yep.
expected. It's Ewan McGregor. I mean, we have
And Hayden Christian, you have.
yeah,
I mean,
for all the
Vader
Hayden.
with his original voice.
Yes, so okay, you have Hayden Christensen returning. When I knew he was coming back, I was thrilled. Of course, Ewan McGregor speaks for itself, and then we didn't know. Now no, there was no confirmation that James Earl Jones was going to voice Vader. When he spoke and we heard James Earl Jones, we're like, there it is. You have the trifecta right there of coming back.
Right.
So I personally, I don't want a season 2 because here's the thing: if they're like, "Oh, let's do a season 2," we know just with the way the show is going, the next episode coming out on Wednesday is going to be a very, very definitive end that will jump. That would basically set up to jump into Star Wars: New Hope. So it's not like it's going to be like, I don't know, the end of Star Trek Discovery, where at the end they kind of said their goodbyes, but we know there's more. This is going to be the definitive end of the series, where it's like, oh, hey, after this, it's New Hope. There's nothing in between. So I would be curious how they squeeze a second season in without just basically putting a
Well,
stop.
I mean, they're both basically kids still, so
True.
I mean, there's still a bunch of time in there that they can fill up. I mean, now we saw that recording that their sister had,
Yes.
and Kenobi's reaction to that. Well, now they know about Luke, so he's going to have to try to make sure to keep Luke safe, even if he's not directly involved with Luke while he's growing up.
And that's the thing. So, of the people in the galaxy being Yoda, Bail Organa, and Obi-Wan, knowing Vader has kids, now Third Sister knows because of the hologram. And she
Mm.
now knows Luke is on Tatooine because plot and Bail Organa can't keep his mouth shut. So Um, it's gonna be interesting. So I guess they could use if she survives, they can probably use that as a season 2 to see what she would do if she either looks for redemption or is gonna help Obi-Wan from here on out. Because while we actually know Luke's story, we technically don't know Leia's story. We just know that she was a princess and senator of Alderaan. But
Right.
We got all of Luke's story. So if they do a season 2, it would begin have to be Leia centric. Only this time, don't make it save the kid like Mandalorian, now Obi-Wan. Um, just make it to where it's like, okay, he's gonna be there to probably help her, but not rescue her per se. So it's gonna be interesting how they play that if they do want to do a season 2.
Yeah.
So, Justin, what do you think? Like, what do you think they could use as a segue to season 2 if they decide to jump on that?
Obi-Wan having to, go protect Luke. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot they could do with that without him having to directly interact with him. Third sister may either turn on Obi-Wan or help Obi-Wan. Um, we don't really know how that's going to work out. It's yeah, it's an open book right now, really. I mean, they have to do it within the confines of well, you have a New Hope, unless they decide to retcon it.
Uh, if they retcon it, then they would have
I mean,
to.
they want to wreck. I mean, look
Mhm,
what they did with Boba Fett.
true.
I mean, God,
Justin, you're
is it?
cutting out.
I mean, yeah, well, that would just be just like this. But this, if you look at what they did with Boba Fett, I mean, there's a lot they could do. Look what they did with the Mandalorian.
True.
Look what they've done with Bad Batch. I mean, they can work outside the box within the extent, but they still have to be careful because if they're not, then that's when you run into are you going to retcon it? Is it a alternate storyline? I mean, That's the problem with prequels. I mean, it's the
Yeah.
same thing that Star Trek faced whenever they tried to say what Discovery is prime. I'm not even going to go in that argument because sorry, it would be reason it's not. But um, yeah, it's just we're gonna have to see what they do. Rumors are true, which I mean we know how rumors are.
Right. I
Uh,
Here's the
especially from sites like Bad Robot.
well, it has picked up. It has picked up credible on, like I said, Deadline and Yahoo reporting it that there is mumblings that they want to do a season two, but I would hope they don't. But I am on board with something else. I touched on this before. Hayden Christensen is on board to do a Vader series. At first, I was against this because I'm like, well, episodes 1 through 6 and even Rogue One, so 7 movies are all about Darth Vader from being a
Hmm.
kid to his death. But it was pitched that if they do the Star Killer storyline, then I'm on board with that. If they do a Vader one and done series with his Star Killer apprentice, that would be great because then they could really do that and then go between basically from the Obi-Wan timeline to after Revenge of the Sith into Star Wars New Hope, and we can get his teaching a new Sith Lord in there.
Yeah, which I mean they want to do that route, and yeah, but then you're gonna run into the problem again where you got the Star Killer storyline that's been done in the game, so you wind up with a Halo situation. They
That's
don't do exactly like do with the game. Fans trying to throw a little hissy fit.
right. Like this didn't happen in the game. Well, this is not. This is what we're gonna do. And Disney can't. Like I said, Disney's made mistakes, but I think that they could. John Favreau and Dave Filoni, let them handle it, and they could probably bring Starkiller to the small screen. I firmly believe that they would handle it just fine. They gave us Mandalorian out of the blue, and it's been working great. And then they've Boba Fett kind of faltered, but overall,
Well,
again, it was received pretty well
let's see
overall.
why Mandalorian worked so well was it was basically new.
Yeah,
I mean, it wasn't Boba Fett that already had that was backstory. Uh, Mandalorians had a backstory, but Mandalorian himself did not. So I mean, that worked so well because it is it was its own thing, pretty much within its Star Wars universe. So that's the problem they're going to run in if they do a Star Killer type storyline. Now, if they do something different with Vader, it's not say Star Killer with something else, and not use it the assets from the video game.
mm-hmm.
I, I think that would work out better. Like say, Vader had his new Padawan,
Yeah,
or
that could work.
uh, I think right now that would probably work out okay. I mean, I really hope they use the Star Killer storyline. That's fine. Maybe not call it Star Killer, call it something else. Because what happened, we all saw what happened with Halo. Even though it was a good storyline, it was just a complete shit show. Um, as long as they don't go the Miss Marvel route. Oh God.
Yeah, so
uh,
I did so yeah, I'm kind of on board with that, and we might see since Ahsoka does premiere next year after Mandalorian
mhm,
season 3. I do believe that Hayden Christensen is actually in um oh my god, Ahsoka, that he's going to be reprising his role as Vader in Ahsoka, and people, I've already seen people comment like, "What do you mean? How could he do that?" I'm like, in flashbacks, he could again
mhm.
play Anakin as as her mentor, or he could be Vader, where they bring back how they did it in Star Wars Rebels, and she
Yep.
fights him. So, or depending, since Ahsoka takes place after Return of the Jedi, she of course is obviously going to know, okay, he's dead. They might bring back Mark Hamill to play Luke again. So there, Ahsoka is really wide open. But from what I'm gathered with the casting, she's looking for Grand Admiral Thrawn and looking to rescue Ezra. Just from the casting news alone, because of the way Star Wars Rebels ended, is she's looking for Thrawn. So we'll see how that goes.
All right.
Um, so that's our take on Kenobi. We are very much looking forward to this series finale. Again, that will be airing Wednesday, midnight local time. So, whenever you're turning on, just turn it on, watch it, wake up, or watch it in
Usually
the morning.
about 1:15 Central Time if you're up late, or I mean, sometimes it's 2 o'clock Central. So
Actually, it's
whatever time zone you're in.
and real quick before we do actually switch, my buddy here, his screen name Old Ben Kenobi. He goes, we need Mace to have his return. So it's funny he brings that up. Before we move on to their next show, Mace Windu himself, Samuel L. Jackson, came out and made a statement. He's not, and now this is paraphrase, but he's not making movies to win a statue. He's like, he's like, I could care less about the statue. He goes, I'd rather play Nick Fury or have fun being Mace Windu. Put a lightsaber back in my hand. I'm like, yes.
Mm.
Oh man,
Could be very well. That could very well happen. Who knows?
yeah. All I read that in Sam Jackson's voice, and I just ended it with motherfucker. So yeah, I would be so on board to see Sam Jackson return. Sam Jackson is returning as Nick Fury in Secret Wars. Um, and as far as Mace Windu, the rumors have been there for over a year now. Who knows? Because yeah, it's just gonna be weird if they ever try to bring him back. I would see maybe it happening in Ahsoka, maybe Mandalorian. If they do Boba Fett again, Tamora Morrison wants Boba Fett to be a badass again.
Mm-hmm.
I could see that, but that time will tell. And we'll see Mandalorian next year, Ahsoka, and Obi-Wan finishes this Wednesday. We're moving on to our next topic. So this one we will be talking about Seth MacFarlane's show, The Orville: New Horizons. So we've had another great episode of The Orville. Now, again, if you don't like Star Trek, you'll probably there was that was a weird noise. Um,
Yeah. Don't know what happened, and don't know what I don't know. I
okay.
do not know. Okay, we'll roll with it.
All right. So Seth MacFarlane's Orville is very, very. It's funny. I would recommend it to anybody who, if you're a fan of Seth MacFarlane, you'll like the Orville, and it's all 3 seasons right now are on Hulu. Season 3 is currently going on. Um, but Orville had another great episode. This was one of those more philosophical episodes that we came in contact with. So basically, the small premise of the show was the away team goes down to a desolate planet, and every time they come across a problem, they basically look like they're sucked into something. So what ends up happening is they're basically experiencing, how to put it, their mortality or death. And an alien race is basically experimenting with this. So every time they lose consciousness, that's the alien race taking over. Like, oh, we wanted to experience mortality because they themselves are immortal. And if you've seen Orville, this was a callback. The alien race was the race that worshipped Kelly as a god, because by this time
Mm-hmm.
when they run into her again, 50,000 years have passed on their world with the way they phase in and out of existence. So it was pretty interesting to see that. And what do you think about that one? What do you think of that callback, Jessica? Because I'll tell you, I didn't see it coming.
I mean, I didn't think really didn't see it either, but it was really, really, really good. I like how they really kept me guessing almost until the end. So I
Yeah.
mean, they're really doing a good job this season so far without trying to copy Star Trek, as it were. Yeah, I get. I mean, I've been pleasantly surprised this season, so I hope they keep it up because so far, it's really really enjoyable compared to the past 2 seasons. Which the other 2 seasons are okay. I harp on them a little bit
Mm-hmm.
too much, but I'm glad to see them doing their own thing now.
Yeah, and it's really good to see this. So, like I said, this episode is really easy to recap, but if you watch it, you sit there and you're like, okay. And even if you hadn't seen the previous 2 episodes, you could tell that when she tells Kelly, "Oh, you were once our symbol of a god," you could just tell by her facial expression, like, "Oh, that didn't go well." Um,
Yeah.
so this episode was pretty great. Again, the race, I don't think we got a name of their particular species, but they were definitely wanting to study humans. She's like, "You're a fascinating species to study." And I'll say this, that it was really well done in the sense that it was Twilight Zone meets Star Trek, and they handled it pretty well.
Yes,
Um,
they did.
and one of the things I wanted to talk about was the fact that we got to see something we didn't get to see in other episodes. We haven't seen this one in a while. The Commander Lamar in charge. Now we know he's been in charge. He's chief engineer. But the last time we see him legitimately put in charge, he's a mess. He's so nervous. He's anxious. And now all of a sudden, Mercer's like, "All right, Lamar, report to the bridge." And Lamar is golden. Like he sits in that captain's chair and he's just fine. Um, so I was definitely happy to see that character growth where Lamar is just comfortable as hell in the captain's chair.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, that was it for Orville. Like I said, it was a quick recap. If you are fans of the Orville, definitely give hopefully you're keeping up with it. If you're not, I would do recommend giving Orville a shot. If you're looking for something new, something fresh, Orville is definitely a way to go because it is a new, slightly fresh show. Again, if Star Trek isn't your cup of tea, definitely give Orville a shot. And of course, Star Wars Kenobi speaks for itself. It's only 6 episodes, but we still love it. So this is the next one. Now Justin hasn't seen it, but this is still a fun show nonetheless. I'm pretty sure if I let Justin go, he could probably predict the entire episode. So Star Trek, dumbass. The Boys, fifth episode. Um, damn. So Kripke and Simon Pegg, man, they definitely are bringing it this season. So I Soldier Boy is not who we expected in terms of the big bad villain. He is the big bad super screwed over guy. So any villainy he has is because he got screwed so hard by what he thought by a woman he thought loved him. Crimson Countess, I believe. I know it's Crimson something. But to find out that everybody on the team hated him, that nobody liked him, and they gave him up to the Russians for free. You could the look in his face. So Justin, at this episode, that this was at the end. He finally comes across Crimson, and she's all. He goes, "Well, how much did they pay you to turn on me?" And she goes, "Nothing." And he just absolutely obliterated her. And I have no issues with that. I didn't like her. I thought she was a bitch anyway. But
Mm,
the look on his face of despair was he thought he was in love with her. He thought everything was fine. He was happy, and granted, taken over, obviously poked and prodded by the Russians. This guy was tortured, but finally being like, "Hey, I'm back," and she tells him, "Oh yeah, I flipped on you for no reason." Like,
mm,
damn. um, so this whole premise this season has been getting Soldier Boy. Um, so another one that was a pretty good shocker was Huey taking Compound V and helping out Butcher. They take a temporary Compound V, gives them their temporary superpowers. Um, Huey and Starlight don't exactly break up, but he doesn't stay for her because Justin Butcher proposes an alliance with Soldier Boy, and he accepts.
mm.
So we after Butcher stops him before he goes into the trailer and says, "How about you and I team up?" And he goes, "What you soups would call a team up." And it cuts back to Huey and Starlight. Soldier Boy does this thing, and then he comes back out. He looks at Butcher, and they both start walking away, and Huey goes with them. So this team up is happening. We have Butcher and Soldier Boy teaming up, and the weapon that they have been talking about all season to kill Homelander is Soldier Boy. And we're gonna see how this turns out. But on the lighthearted side of the episode, Kimiko is alive. She's healing up very nicely, and she can talk. She got her voice back, Justin.
Mm.
We're pretty sure now. Justin did see this episode. We're pretty sure something to do with Soldier Boy took her powers or something because she was very badly hurt. Um, but while she's in the hospital bed, she looks at Frenchie and she not necessarily speaks full sentences, but she makes noise and realizes that her voice box, her vocal cords are fine, so she's able to speak to Frenchie, and it breaks out into a musical.
Hmm.
The musical was great.
Oh, yeah.
So, so try not okay, not spoiling, but it's like, so what do you think, Justin? What do you think about this alliance with Butcher and Soldier Boy? Not since you've seen the other episodes, like, what do you think this is gonna
I've
turn
only
into?
seen the first. I've only seen the first one now, so I haven't gotten around to the other ones. I want to watch all of them
Oh, you haven't
tomorrow.
seen?
Actually,
Okay.
but I told you it was fine because I can be spoiled and still enjoy the show. I'm not like some people that complain about it.
Okay, well, Kamiko gets badly hurt and she gets her voice. So we're pretty sure
Right.
um pretty sure Soldier Boy has some sort of power where I think either like when he hits you, he absorbs like your force, your life force or something. But that's not even been hinted at other than seeing Kamiko injured. So we don't know anything really. But again, like Butcher and Soldier Boy teaming up is going to be interesting. You'll find this funny, Justin. Huey takes Compound V, or at least temporary V, and he can teleport. The problem with his teleporting is he teleports out of his clothes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty great. Um, so moving on from the, as far as that, so any of my viewers, if anybody's watching The Boys, definitely let me know in the chat what you think of The Boys so far. Because it's they've been doing really great with the show. Season 3, it has been greenlit for a season 4. So
Cool.
what's up?
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so season 4 is on the way. They haven't started production, but the cast did a big ol', season 4 coming up. So definitely looking forward to that.
Fantastic.
And what?
That's fantastic.
Yes, definitely. So yeah, we have a great lineup of shows. So that's it for our reviews. So we've touched on Star Trek: Strange New Worlds. We're about a little over halfway. We believe it's 10 episodes. Not too sure on the length. So we're at episode 6, possibly of 10. Yes, Leia, 100%. Homelander needs to die, and I would love to see Ryan be the one to kill Homelander. Butcher is too predictable. I wouldn't mind seeing Huey do it. Because his whole thing this season has been, I want to save. He told Starlight, I want to save you for once versus you saving me. And so my money's on Huey or Ryan, but I think they're probably gonna let Butcher do it with Soldier Boy. Um, as far as our rest of our review, so Orville, we're 3 episodes in of I believe a 10 or 12 episode season. Again,
12. Thanks.
12 episodes. Okay, so we're 3 in of 12. 3 of 12. Borg Collective over here. Kenobi series finale is this Wednesday.
Uh,
We're only saying boo because it's 6 episodes long, not because the show is not good. It's amazing. And the boys were 5 episodes in of their 10 episode run, so we're halfway done with the boys. So, a quick gaming one. So we have a couple of gaming topics. Justin's actually going to give us a touch on. Justin, you've been playing a new TMNT game. What's that on? What's that about?
yes, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge dropped the other day on Game Pass and
Nice.
Steam,
Okay.
and it's cross-platform and completely cross-platform, but you have to enable it in the menu. You get to play all the original characters, and the aesthetic is done of the original '90s cartoon show. So it will look very familiar. It's got the voice actors back. It has all the original voices for the cast of the Turtles, Shredder, Splinter, Casey Jones is in it.
Nice.
It's got Bebop and Rocksteady, all of them. So it's fun gameplay. A little buggy, get disconnected here and there yet, so they're still working some of the bugs out. But it's free on Game Pass day one launch. It is fantastic. And for any of those of you who played the original SENS games, Sega games, whatnot, you will definitely have the nostalgic feel with it. It's very fun, especially to play with friends. A bunch of us played it 2 nights in a row. It was great, and we keep playing it again sometime this week. I will be streaming it on my Twitch channel, Twitch TV, the Augmented.
Yes, so definitely check out Justin. He has been streaming it quite frequently. I think about the last few days now.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely keep an eye out for it. He does also play some baseball, MLB Live, I believe. So definitely check that.
Yeah, well, that's not going to be a normal game. like the little gaming crew I run with. I've run with for like 15, 20 years. We do
Okay.
sports league. So like one month we'll do baseball, one month we'll do basketball, one month we'll do hockey, and we'll just play off each other and like do stuff like that. I mean, it's fun. I
That's
mean, hey, if the games are free on Game Pass, might as well, right?
exactly, definitely. Game Pass is amazing, and it's definitely worth it. It's like what, 15 a month, or like the annual isn't too bad either.
Yeah,
Um,
it's 14.99 a month, and then you can sign up. I think there was there for the first 3 months for $1, but that was only 1 month for $1. But I mean,
okay.
still, you get all the Game Pass games plus EA Play, normal. Uh, you'll get the pro features for EA Play, but you get the normal ones, and you can play EA games. So it's actually quite good. The cloud gaming is excellent with Ultimate. Uh, all you gotta do is have the install the game once, play a little bit, and you uninstall it, save your hard drive space, and play it in the cloud if it's not on the cloud game list. So yeah, it's pretty nifty.
So there we go. All right, thanks for that, Justin. Again, you guys catch him at twitch.tv/the_augmented. And our next gaming topic, this was a bit of a fun one I found, and I read it. So AT&T did a survey, and
Hmm.
on Instagram they found over 82,000 cosplay posts of people dressed as the hero of Hyrule, Link, and another 69,000 posts of the iconic British hero slash archaeologist slash badass Lara Croft. The survey they did and all these posts found that Link and Lara Croft are the most cosplayed video game characters, which is not too surprising. Now, Link isn't surprising. Lara Croft got me a little bit because there are so many great female video game characters, but I think Lara Croft is up there because she's easier to cosplay than say Samus or Princess Peach.
Right.
Um, but it was really interesting to see that. So AT&T found that. So it's really cool to find out that people are. I mean, of course, people are going to cosplay. I'd cosplay as Link as if I could, but I'm too short and I don't have a Master Sword.
Hey, break. I'll be right back.
Yeah, sure. So, that was been interesting to find out from. This was on CBR, so this will be great. So I'm kind of curious if for my viewers, like, what would be your favorite cosplay to do? Personally, my favorite cosplay. As far as video game character, I probably would want to do something along the lines of, oh dear, I don't even know now. Video game character. I don't know, Pokemon trainer or something. I guess Link is a default, but I'd want to be like a brand new character. Um, Maybe in a Star Wars game, coming with my own lightsaber. So that'd be a cool one to do. But I know Leia would probably do. She'd probably do Zelda. She's got the hair for it. Not too sure what other ones she would pull. But yeah, if you guys would let me know in the chat what your favorite video game would person would be to cosplay, that'd be a cool one to find out from some of our viewers. And touching on that, okay, so if you guys do that in the chat, one of our last topics of the night, and this one is a head scratcher. Breathe. Joker 2 has been greenlit. Todd Phillips has confirmed that he will return to direct. Joaquin Phoenix will return to star. And two things. They have found their Harley Quinn. Lady Gaga will be Harley Quinn for the Joker 2. And oh, it gets weirder for those of you wondering like why Lady Gaga? It gets weirder. It's going to be a musical. Now, I'm not per se against musicals, but if for those of us who have seen Hawkeye, the Marvel show Hawkeye, we've seen how a musical can be annoying as shit. Now, to take Joker, the highest grossing R-rated film of all time, with a very serious tone of, social behavior, stuff like that, to go into a musical is going to be actually quite hilarious. That's already. Yes, baby bear. So David is very vocal right now. He's definitely not a fan of the musical or Lady Gaga. Okay, now here's the thing. I'm not against Lady Gaga because the girl can act. Now I don't listen to her music per se. Um, but she has done well in her few acting roles, so she's not terrible. As far as Harley Quinn casting, though, I don't think that's out of her reach, but I feel they could cast someone better suited for the role. Not necessarily a better actor, but someone better suited. Like, it's kind of a miscasting. But if they're going the route of the musical, then you want someone who can sing, and there she is. Now, there are plenty of actresses who can sing and act, but she uh she was the first choice. She said yes.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's what we're getting
I'm back.
is Justin's back. So Justin, we're touching on Joker 2 casting Lady Gaga's Harley Quinn and the fact that it's going to be a musical confirmed by Todd Phillips.
Uh, I'm not thrilled about the casting.
So my friend, my one of my
Um,
fans, David here, he goes, "Fuck Lady Gaga and that musical." So there's gonna a few people who are not happy.
I mean, I don't see the point, really. A whole movie musical? No, just no. Come on now, DC, do better.
Well,
Seriously.
and it's not in the DCEU, so it's not going to, of course, affect anything like with the Flash, with Black Adam, and all that. But it's just gonna we're gonna
Well,
sit there and
I
be
mean,
like,
if I was Disney, if I was DC, I would speak up, be like, fuck no. I would not. I mean, the first Joker movie was okay. I mean, but this, no, 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 absolutely not.
and see, I and that's what I'm trying to wrap my head around. So again, now the Joker sequel was of course up there, but Todd Phillips again has confirmed it. So okay, cool, we're getting a Joker sequel. Now I didn't even see Lady Gaga casting. All I saw was Joker 2 and it's a musical, and I'm like, wait, no. And I'm like, Joaquin Phoenix is stepping into that now to be a musical.
I didn't they lose a director? Out before him.
Scorsese, yes. Scorsese was actually set to direct the Joker originally, but then he stepped back as and just produced it. Um,
Well, now we know why.
so, and for those of you who wonder, so I'm just, yeah, I'm a little weirded out myself about it. It's just like, now Todd Phillips is a good casting choice, but or no, sorry, good director. But I'm kind of curious, like, why do they want to make this a musical? Is my curious is what's piquing my curiosity. Um,
I just don't know. I don't understand it either. It,
because but see here, okay, so here's the thing. He directed all three of the Hangover films, and the first two were stupid, raunchy, horrible, great fun. And the third one was just way too serious for its own good. Now he goes and directs a serious movie. He's going in reverse. He directed a great serious movie, and now he's doing a musical. It's like, did
yeah.
that musical idea just get shafted at
Um,
Hangover and you
You
take
know,
it to Joker?
they could they could be pulling our leg. I would hope that could be the case. That they could be lying to us.
This is the guy who also directed Old School and Starsky and Hutch.
Uh,
So this is this is the same guy who gave us Old School, Starsky Hutch, School for Scoundrels, and of course the Hangover movies. So this is the same guy.
uh, you probably gonna need a hangover to watch the goddamn thing
Oh
if
my
it's
god,
a
imagine.
musical.
Oh my god, that would be hilarious. Now,
What the fuck are they thinking? Seriously, I really hope this does not come to be because there is absolutely no fucking point to a Joker and Harley Quinn musical. There is no point. Zero. Nada.
oh
I
man,
don't care if I get labeled a hater for this. I don't give a flying fuck. Fuck whoever came up with this stupid idea for a movie. Why? What is your thinking behind this? Why? Unless you're gonna have Batman come in and do a fucking camo and sing, that would be the only other thing going. Well, guess what? You don't got the rights to Batman. You just got a bootleg Joker and Harley Quinn.
yeah, it's I don't see this. I see it doing well its opening weekend just because people are like, hey, let's go see it, and then just dropping like a fly weekend two. Now it's not slated to come, I believe, until 2024. They haven't even started production. It's barely still in, I believe, the
Oh God, I please hope they cancel this. This is going to be a complete shit show. Please, please. I can do a this sequel and be okay. Now, give me a real Joker and Harley Quinn flick, and we might talk. Not the bullshit that they did before that. No. Maybe
give us a
something with the
better
new
Joker.
Batman.
Yeah, give us a better Joker than Jared Leto to go with Margot Robbie's
Oh,
Harley Quinn.
exactly.
Um, so that's gonna wrap up our show for tonight, folks. So we've touched on
Bullshit.
we've touched on Orville, Kenobi, the boys. We've had a lot of fun on this show, guys. So viewership has been great. I hope everybody's enjoying the show. So again, happy Father's Day to the dads out there. So a couple things. Our shows will normally air on Saturdays. We just had a little bit behind the scenes trouble, and we figured, hey, a good Father's Day show. So here we are. Saturdays, 8 p.m. Mountain Time, 7 p.m. Pacific is our target. And of course, if you're part of our part of my Discord and on our Facebook page, definitely go ahead and go there. You get all the updates and post funny memes and shit all day long. And one more time, so as we close out, Justin, where can we find you if we want to watch said TMNT and other gaming from you?
Twitch.tv underscore augmented. And I usually go on during the evening times. It's kind of random, but it's usually after 4 p.m. Central.
Yep, and also we do want to help Justin get to affiliate on his Twitch. He just needs to have
Please.
In order for Justin to reach affiliate on his Twitch, he needs to average three viewers,
Reviews.
of show for at least 30 days. So we definitely want to help him get that. As for me, if you're watching this already, you are already in the right place at Mongoose Gaming Burrow on Twitch. I do stream Pokemon Go. I do stream Call of Duty. All that stuff is also on my YouTube. We also, Justin is working behind the scenes on a website for us for Off the Wall Nerds. So keep an eye out for that. When Justin finishes that, we will be getting that out there.
Hopefully, hopefully this will be replacing the Trello use, which I
Yes.
like Trello, but I want to kind of have everything all in one place. The website will have a members areas for donors. We will be starting that up soon because, of course, we're poor and we got to pay for this somehow.
Yes.
So yes, we will be getting that all going here soon. As soon as we do, we will pass that information on to y'all. We may be doing a Patreon, but we got to figure out the details on that one yet. But for now, stay tuned. Yeah, we may decide to do random shows throughout the week. The best place to find that is on our Facebook page, which is weird about the scheduling thing. But yes, we will have a YouTube up soon. I have to set it up for live streaming, and I may or may not use it to upload clips from the show to kind of populate it. We'll see how all that works out. Other than that, that's it for my end.
All right. Well, again, thank you guys, everybody watching. Again, happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. We will see you next week on our show. Until then, have a great rest of your Sunday and good night.
And